Well, hey guys, thank you for coming to the third episode of Winning at Work and Home podcast. I got to be honest with you guys. I'm taking a little bit of a risk here. It's around, what time is it? About 4:30 here in Colorado, and the kids are home and the family's home. So there's no telling, may have some interruptions, may have some a little dog scratching at my office door, or may have a little girl that gets upset about cleaning her room, which she is right now. So you never know what's going to be yelled down from the bedroom. But anyways, I just want to give you a pre-warning to this podcast. So I'm going live right now on YouTube. So maybe, we'll get a special guest that will come running into the office or whatever it may be. But listen, I really wanted to share this with you. I'm going to be busy in the morning. A lot of times that's when I like to do these podcasts. Got a couple coaching calls early in the morning. So I wanted to get it done today because I'm really trying to get these out as frequent as I can, anywhere from 2 to 3 to 4 times a week. Heck, if I get really motivated and I get comfortable sharing more with you guys and sharing my thoughts and my heart of how we can begin to not only win in the workplace, but more importantly, I feel win at home. Then I'll do more. I just want to do it when it's on my heart, when I want to share. Understanding though that I'm not always going to be motivated to do these, but you need to get them done. I need to do them, and then the inspiration or motivation will come. There was a quote the other day that I read is inspiration is out there. It just needs to find you working. So the point of that is, don't wait to be inspired to do the things that you should be doing. Just do the things, and that inspiration will then come. And that's Pablo Picasso that said that quote. But listen, what I want to talk a little bit about today is the 4 Ps. I kind of have them written down. And I did a video, I think about maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago, about the 3 Ps. And I added in a 4th P. And really it's passion, planning, persistence, and patience. And I want to talk about each one of those a little bit today in this podcast. Hopefully you guys, if you like these, I want to share some with you. The past couple days, I've gotten some really, really incredibly nice texts and some direct messages on social from people that have been incredibly encouraging to me. I'm starting this out. I'm trying to reach more people. And sometimes it just feels like it's natural, right? We all feel this when we start something, we do something, that it may not be making a difference, that there's not too many people listening, and that may be the case. There's not that many people watching. So when I get those encouragements, and you guys know, if you're listening now, if that you've done that, you know who you are, and I cannot tell you enough how incredibly grateful and thankful I am with that. I'm a crier, and I was literally here in the office. I was in the office, texting back and forth with some people, had tears running down my eyes. I'm just a softie. So when you guys give me those comments and those words of encouragement, it really touches my heart. On top of that, if you really like this, and I don't really ask too much of kind of anybody except maybe my wife, but that's a different topic in a good way, right? I know I'm kind of needy, but I want to ask something with you guys. If you like this, if you like my mindset minutes, if you like my Instagram posts, if you are beginning to enjoy maybe these podcasts and you think it can benefit somebody else, or you want to turn somebody on to it, please share it. I really feel that I want to organically grow. I get people hitting me up all the time. It's like, we can grow your Instagram, following by so many, we can do this and that. And a lot of that's artificial, and I'm not looking to do that. I just really want to grow by putting good content out there and good stuff. So when you guys, if what really makes me happy also is when you guys share it, and when you comment, share to your friends, if you want to. If you don't want to, don't do it. I'm not, but if you feel it'll benefit them, say, hey, check this guy out. He's a friend of mine. He's got some good stuff. It may help you, and in your home life, in your marriage, in your business, whatever it may be. So I just wanted to get that plug out there. So let's go into the topic today. I want to talk about the 4 P's. And listen, the whole point of this podcast is to help us not only win in the workplace, but win at home. And these are basic stuff. All the stuff that I'm telling you about, isn't anything necessarily new, but it's stuff that we need to hear. And the more that we hear it, the more that it's ingrained in our mind, the more that we take this kind of stuff in, hopefully it'll start to make a difference. I have to be reading, I have to be taking this stuff in all the time to kind of keep me on track. Otherwise, I can fall off track and I can get numb and I can just, 2, 3, 4 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, I'm not doing, what I want to do. I'm not heading in the direction that I need to go because I'm not focused up. So I want to talk about the 4 P's, and there's different ways to do this, but listen, the first one is passion. And these are 4 P's for you to, let's say, live a successful life. For you to, and when I talk about success, as I said in the beginning, I think success is progress. I think success is being able to do the things that you want to do and be able to impact the people you want to impact and love, and just really growth. I mean, it's not about a fancy car. It's not about a big house. It's not about how much money you have in the bank. But if you're living a successful life, and I think that is really being able to do the things, like I said, that you want to do and impact those around you in a positive way. And these are some things that these 4 P's that we're going to talk about, is this another way to do that? And they're very basic. So number 1 is I want to talk about passion. Number 1 is passion. And I think when you're passionate about something, you then have the energy and the drive to do the work that you need to do. And it was interesting. I was watching a video the other day with a guy from Impact Theory. I think it's Tom Bilyeu, or I forget how to pronounce his last name, but he started Quest Bars. And it was interesting how he talked about everybody tries to find their passion. And often what it is, passion finds them when they're doing the work, when they're putting the effort in. Then often people realize that they're passionate about it, that it's not something we just sit back and we just say, oh, I hope I find my passion and blah, blah, blah. It's actually about doing things, getting things done, and realizing those things that you're getting done matter to you much more than maybe something else. And you enjoy the work, you enjoy the effort, you enjoy the time that you're putting into it. But I really believe, especially a couple things, in this day and age, now I'm a little older, so it's harder to change careers. It's harder to change certain things when you're 45, 50, 60, right? You have, at that time you may have a family. There's certain things that you are responsible for, but going a lot to the younger generation, and parents, you can teach this to your kids. I want to encourage my kids to go after their passion when they're young, to go out there and experience certain things, experience that, and through that experience, they're going to find their passion. And let's say you have a 16-year-old, 17, 18, 19, 20, whatever it may be, you can really help them and guide them to go out there and try the things that they may feel that they love, that they may feel that they're passionate about, but they don't know yet. Just think they could fail for 7 years, 8 years, 10 years, and just think of the experience that they would have had, and how they're really going to discover so much. I mean, I really didn't get my life together, I don't think, until I was like 35. I mean, I had a family at that point, but I definitely didn't come into my passion. This is really what I enjoy. This is what I love. I love sharing. I love doing the Mindset Minutes, like I told you, but I'm 45. I've mainly been kind of doing that, teaching men groups and coaching, I would think probably for the past, or coaching anyways, and doing a little more serious with the social media sharing for the past maybe 3 years, 4 years, I don't know. But I was over 40. So just think, if you can take that young person that you can help shape their life and really have them go after their passion. So on top of that as well, if you are 45, if you are 50, if you are 32, 35, 60 years old, I would really encourage you to find something that you are passionate about, something that you do enjoy, and really dive into it and do it. Because, you know, with the way everything is, there's so much time to get back through social to where you can really start to begin to work in your passion. So I think there's no excuse for anybody, you know, that is, you know, listen, I understand we're going to go through and have certain jobs that we don't like, but I really feel with the way everything is going today that there's so many opportunities for you guys, and this is a whole nother podcast, this is a whole nother deal that we can talk about, for you to go after your passion and be living your passion. You know, I mean, if you're into, you know, for example, butterflies, and that's your passion. I don't know why I thought of butterflies. I mean, I don't know why. But listen, if you're in crazy passion about butterflies, you could do a butterfly podcast, and you could, you know, write a book about butterflies, study butterflies, learn butterflies, whatever it may be, get stuff out there, do a membership page for butterflies. And, you know, if you may not be able to make $500,000 or $1 million, but you may be able to make $60,000 being the butterfly expert, and maybe $60,000 you working in your passion. You know, maybe that's incredibly enjoyable, as opposed to being somewhere where you make $120,000, $150,000 and you're miserable. You're miserable. So you can do it. So I discover what your passion is. Now, one other thing before we get on to the second P, you know, I believe if we have kids, I believe if we're in a marriage, you know, there's no option. We need to be passionate about that. We need to be passionate about being an amazing husband or wife. That needs to be a passion. It needs to be something that we have a strong desire to be. If it's not, you need to work it out. I don't know which other way to say it. If you have kids and you're not passionate about raising your kids up the correct way, and you're not passionate about guiding and teaching and loving and supporting and encouraging them, you need to figure that out as well. I don't know what it is. I don't necessarily have any suggestions for you right now, but you need to get real passionate about being a good parent. You know, there's certain things that I don't think that we have the leisure of not being passionate about. And those are two of the things I definitely feel. Your marriage, if you're married, if you have kids, you need to be passionate, you need to work hard, you need to find a way to enjoy that and draw energy out of that to be that amazing person. So you need to do that. Number 2 is planning. That's the second P is planning. Listen, if you want to go, if you're passionate, let's say, you know, and you're going after something, you have a goal, you have to plan on how you're going to achieve that passion, or how you're going to be successful in that passion. You just can't say, you know, for example, going back to the awesome butterfly example, like, oh my gosh, I'm so passionate about butterflies, and I would rather, you know, just do that full time, study them, teach, educate, grow, give people information about butterflies. That's what I'm going to do. And then not have a plan, right? You got to have a plan. You got to know how you're going to fulfill that passion, how you're going to maximize that passion. Same thing in your marriage, right? Same thing as a parent. Listen, you know, we talk about goal setting so much in business. Why in the world do we not set goals, or why do we not plan, you know, in our marriage? Why do we not plan our things or have goals as parents? Why do we not do that? You know, we do it for business if we want to be successful. We did it if you were an athlete. You always had goals that you're going after. Why is it any different? Why should you not plan every single day how you're going to be an incredible wife? Why should you not plan every single day how you're going to be an incredible husband? It makes no sense. You have to plan. You have to know what it is. And I talk about this all the time. It's not 1,000 things you have to do. There's usually about 1 to 3 things that if you did them every single day, you would get amazing results. But that's planning. That's planning the day. That's saying, today I'm going to be this type of husband. Today I'm doing this in my business, you know, in my butterfly. This is what I have to do. You have a plan. And it's so important that you understand that. It's not complicated, guys. It's not easy. I'm not saying by any stretch of the means that it's easy. Life is not easy. It's hard. Relationships are hard. Parenting is hard. I just got done sharing with you, I had to go up there, and I'm not sure if you're anti-spanking or whatever, but my daughter's young enough, I feel that can still be done. And I had to give her a warning, and she was screaming and yelling, blah, blah, blah. I had to go up there calmly and spank her. Right, literally 20 minutes before I'm recording this. That's why I said I don't know if she's going to come down. I think she's calm now, but it's amazing when you spank. About 5 to 10 minutes later, she could come in here and give me a big old hug and a kiss, and everything's good, right? If you know what I'm talking about in regards to that. But the point is, what the heck is now I'm off track because I was thinking about the spanking. But listen, to go back in the planning, it's just so important, guys, that you have to know how you're going to live out and maximize your passion. And planning is a big part of it. So like I said, there's not 1,000 things that you need to do if you're going to be a butterfly expert, I don't think. But listen, you got to read, you got to probably study every day, you probably got to put crazy stuff out on social media, you got to develop maybe a membership site that costs, I don't know, $10, $5, get 500 members to that membership site, and then start making some income off of that, But there's certain things, there's a consistency that's going to need to be done every single day. There's going to need to be a plan to get from point A to point B that's going to need to be executed. So you always have to plan in everything you do, your health, your spiritual life, your marriage, your parenting, your business. You have to plan every single day. They say that your day should be finished before it starts. And what they mean by that is your day should be planned out before it starts. So the night before, you need to know exactly what you're going to do in your business to be successful. You need to know the must-dos or the non-negotiables. There's so many different terms for it. The 1 to 3 actions, the things that move the needle the most, what it is that you need to do, the most important things, the must-dos in the day for your business. The same thing for your marriage. You need to plan out the next day, what are you going to do for your spouse? What are you going to do? Is it a nice text? Is it flowers? Is it helping doing the dishes? Is it vacuuming? Is it a kind word in the morning, a kind word in the afternoon? Whatever it is, you need to know what it is. The same thing in your parenting. You need to know what you're going to do as a parent. Are you going to say their prayers with them at night? Are you going to read them a book? Are you going to take a walk? Are you going to discipline softly? Are you not going to yell? You need to plan it all out. You need to know what you need to do. If you don't, it's going to be chaotic. And remember, this is all towards achieving that goal or that passion. So listen, number 3 is persistence. Persistence, okay? Persistence is huge. And we talked about this a little bit, I think, in episode 2. Maybe we didn't, but persistence is huge. Because what that is you may not get the immediate results that you want, okay? Like I said, my wonderful butterfly example business, you may get into, starting that 5, 6, a year in, but you've been consistent with the activities that you need to do. You need to be persistent enough, okay, to make sure that if it's not necessarily going the way that you want it to go, that you have the heart and you have the drive to continue, okay? You need to, work your plan. And a lot of people are not persistent. A lot of people, they just don't get the work done that needs to get done, okay? It needs to be a constant daily activity of making sure that you're doing the key things and you're being persistent. And really, thinking about that, it goes back to kind of what I talked about. There's things that we're not going to want to do. I don't always want to, write my handwritten notes for my real estate business. I don't always want to make the calls, to be honest with you. I don't really like to make the calls a lot. I would rather just be rapping with you guys and throwing stuff on social media. There's certain things that maybe I don't want to do in my marriage every single day. There's things in my parenting that's really hard. That's really hard. Okay? There's times that I don't want to go to the CrossFit gym, but I made a plan. I made a plan to go there Monday through Friday at noon. If not at noon, later on in the afternoon. So when certain things come up and I may not be feeling like I want to do it, I have to be persistent to do it anyway. I have to have that discipline, that persistence in that activity to make sure that I do it anyways. Okay? So you have to be persistent. You have to be disciplined, a daily discipline. Okay, the last P is patience. Okay, so let me recap them. Passion, number 1. Planning, number 3 is persistence, and then patience. And patience is so important, and this is where a lot of people fail because they never see it through, or they never get to the end of all the persistence that they have shown. And a lot of times that persistence, that planning is about ready to pay off. It's about ready to really maybe turn a corner for people, and they're not patient enough. It's so important, guys. You have to understand that things that are valuable, things that matter, take time. They take tremendous time. Listen, in raising, for example, my oldest boy, as I told you, he's a baseball player at Wichita. Okay, going through all the times that I've had Liam and all the different maybe disciplining and things that I maybe thought that he wasn't hearing, that he wasn't understanding, that it didn't really matter. Does he really understand what I'm trying to tell him? It just doesn't seem to get through his head, right? If I would have not been persistent in raising him and just would have given up, which then I wouldn't have shown the patience or the persistence, I would not be able to see the fruits of that patience and that persistence now that I see him older as a man. I mean, he's only 19. But the things that I see him doing now, is, a lot of it's him, right? It's him as an individual, but I have to give a lot of credit to, my wife and myself for being persistent, and then being patient and seeing that. And it's so important, guys. All this work that you're maybe doing, okay, that you want results right away. Real estate agents, for example, we're so, ADD, we want to get results right away. You have to be patient enough to see your work come through. You have to wait until harvest time. But so often what individuals do is they plant the seed, they work the soil a little bit, okay, and they're working the soil, and it's not harvest time yet, but then they think it should be harvest time, and then they're not patient enough, and it's like they just leave. They're like, oh, well, I guess that's it. I'm just going to leave. And it's so important that we show patience, that we don't give up, but we understand if we do the small things that we need to do every single day in our business, and we have a plan, and we're persistent and we're diligent in getting the small little activities done, that understanding that it's going to take time. It's going to take time. Anything valuable is going to take time. In your marriage, guys, it's going to take time. Marriage is so up and down anyways, but you don't give up. You don't stop doing the things that you know that you should be doing because you may not be getting results on the other end. We talked about that Tony Robbins quote, and I hope I don't jack it up, but a relationship is a place you go to give, not a place you go to get. So if you're out there and you're giving and you're giving and giving, it may take a long time for you to get. I hope not, but that doesn't mean that you're not patient enough and you just give up on your relationship. You give up being a good parent. You give up on your business. You give up on your health because you go to the gym and you're putting the work in. You're diligent. Okay? You planned it out. Maybe you got a trainer and you're going every day, but it's only been 2 or 3, 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, and you're not seeing the results you want. Be patient, because in a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years, you'll then see the difference. But you got to be patient enough to see your persistence, see your planning through. So hopefully, guys, that helped. We got lucky. We didn't have any kids coming down. We didn't get interrupted. So anyways, I think it was a successful podcast. As I said in the beginning, going over the 4 P's: passion, planning, persistence, and patience. Those are so key. Again, if you like this podcast, if it's working out and you enjoy it, please share it. Hopefully you guys are listening to this in the car, on the treadmill, taking a walk, early in the morning, whatever it may be. I just appreciate you guys so much. I appreciate you tremendously. Share it. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes. I think it's up on iTunes. I'm going to start to put this on my website. There's probably a way that you can get the email alerts when it goes up. But I just want to thank you so much, guys. This is very, very good for me, and it's almost therapeutic for me, because I just love to share. And as I said, man, we all go through the same things, right? I just got done telling you I had to go up there and spank my little girl, and kind of chaotic, and she was throwing a fit. And there's different things in business that we all deal with, that I deal with. There's different things in addictions and in relationships and parenting and our health and our motivation and our drive and our mindset. There's all these different things that we go through. And the reason for this podcast is we journey through this together. We journey through this to make sure that we're being the best individuals that we can, both at the workplace and outside of the workplace, at home, where I think it matters the most. So again, guys, thank you for listening to the Winning at Work and Home podcast, episode number 3.